All right. Welcome back. So, I believe where we left off at, I had to take a little break. I believe where we left off at was me going through all of the various pins and the wire harness. I hope you guys can see that down there. Ultimately, I did wind up finding the wire I believe controls the vehicle speed sense that rises and lowers the dynamicness of volume as you're driving. One thing when I was doing a lot of Google, a lot of research, some people like that. If you like that, cool. You don't really need this video. Kind of isn't for you unless you want to kind of see what it takes to go through and poke and prod to try to figure something out. Anyway, so yeah, some people like it. I don't. It drives me crazy. I'm cruising along. It sounds real good, and then slow down, and the volume goes down. And as you go, it goes a little high. Now, so anyway, I believe I've figured out which wire it is here, and I did ultimately wind up finding something online. It just didn't make any sense to me the way it was written. I will insert that in the video. But there's a A, B, C, and I think they call it a D plug. Yeah, I believe they call it a D plug. Anyway, it just didn't make any sense to me. Once I looked at it or started prodding through and looking at the other wires, it really started to make sense to me. But anyway, so I found it. Not sure I think how much. But now, before I make a cut on this, I want to double check that this is the exact one that I want, and then I'll just come in here and cut that back. This wire missing from the bunch isn't gonna hurt nothing. I plan on keeping this truck, so I don't mind making a cut in the harness. If you were gonna do this on your vehicle, you would have to make your decision. I'm gonna cut it, and then I'll solder it back together if I ever feel the need to, which I am never gonna feel the need to. So let's go ahead and get this back inside here. All right, we can get that in there. All right. My neighbors must be wondering, what in the hell is that boy doing out there? Driving up and down the block like he ain't got no sense. Ma'am, I don't have any sense. So what would be cool is if I disconnect this and I achieve my goal, because that would be sweet. I don't have to do anything to make this situation any better. So once again, we're just gonna swap over to that other purple wire just to double check. I am reading 12.25, and as I drive, See, as I take off, the speed, the voltage goes down, right? So I'm hoping that no voltage on there will just give it maximum signal, and I would be absolutely thrilled with that. So I'm not gonna speed around town to see if it goes down any lower. I'm just gonna clip that wire and hope I don't have to get in there and solder it back up because it's the wrong wire. But I'm willing to take that risk, take that chance. It's kind of the thing that I do to make sure. Plus, as I said, I did find a pinout, and I'm gonna double, triple check, as I like to say, that is the wire in that pinout, and we're gonna go from there. So we'll check back here in a second when I get back to the house. Okay, so we're here back at the house. Let's grab my cell phone, if I could find it somewhere. Sorry, it's a little messy in here. Here we go. Okay, so let's find the diagram, the diametergram. Okay. So I'll pull this up on the phone for you guys, but I wanted y'all to see violet vehicle speed sensor, which I don't know if you guys can see that there. Right there. And it is in A27, and VT stands for violet. Here is your 3 plugs. I'll screenshot this and give this to you, but A, B, and C. So I'm in A, and then the way the numbers are weird, right? So like, I don't know, 27 is 27. 27 is the violet one, and it's right next door to the left of 28. So I am gonna go ahead and I am gonna make a executive decision, and I'm going to cut that C. Let's go get ourselves some snipperoos and some electrical tape so we can tape this up, put the head unit back together, and then go for a ride to see if this volume is still fluctuating as I drive up and down the road. So if you guys are doing this and you're tapping in for your remote wire, okay, this is going to be, let me just double check so I make sure I'm giving you the right info. Okay, so if you're tapping in for your remote wire, it's literally going to be the purple wire just down below. So I already pulled back some of the tape on a harness. Here we go. I got her. I'm going to come down just a tad bit. I can always go further down into the harness if I need to. But executive decision, cut. All right. So now that is going to have no power going to it, and we're going to see what happens with the voltage as I'm driving up and down the street, and that is the voltage on that's coming out of the subwoofer amplifier at low volume. All right, so just going to go ahead and reinstall the stereo. Now in this harness here, this little plug here for the non-JBL, it's not used. I believe it might be used for the JBL. We don't need to worry about that. We do have quite a few plugs in here that needs to be reconnected. So this weird double one goes, you guys can't really see that, but I'll get it plugged in. There we go. All right. Black one goes on the far end. And these plugs are just going to go where they go. You can't really mix them up. All right, so there's all of that stuff there. And then the last two are these two here. And I'm going to have to get it pretty close to get those in. All right, so everything is plugged back in. And now we are ready to those connected back into the speaker wire, the banana plugs into the terminal of the subwoofer. We're gonna go ahead and I may have to get this all synced back up, so give me a second on that. All right, so we're back at our 80 hertz. Go ahead and play that. Oh. All right, so real quick, I wasn't getting no voltage because right now I'm on DC. That isn't DC voltage, so remember to switch back over to AC. I'm at 200 on AC, all right, 200 volts. Back to my test tone, 80, and then my volume. All right, look at that, right off the rip. So I don't even have to go anywhere. Let's look at that. That's 1.4. All right. So before this test tone, the 80 hertz test tone at volume number 10 on my head unit was 0.06. I'm going to turn this back on real quick. Just so you guys don't see there's no funny business. All right, so you can still see that. Okay, so 80 hertz test tone, 1.4 volts, volume. That's volume 10. So we got the right one. All right. I guess let's just go ahead and go for a ride just to make sure the voltage doesn't fluctuate and that we got it good. And if we did, pow, thumbs up. Everything worked in the direction we wanted to, meaning that my voltage is higher, which means that it took away the signal that's decreasing the volume. And it's kind of right there in the middle, right? Because I think before it was 0.06, and then the max was like 2.3. So 1. Let me go back and play that. So 1.4 That's fairly close to the middle. I'm happy with that. If that's the deal, we don't have to do nothing else. So let's just go for a quick ride right around the block. We should see if that voltage moves up and down as soon as we hit 10 miles an hour. All right. So we snipped the right wire. We're good. No more upsies and downsies. This is greatness for me. All right. So there you have it. We get back and put this thing back together, y'all. All right. All right, y'all. There you have it. We went for a test drive. Went up to about 50 miles an hour. There was no fluctuation in the voltage showing on my multimeter, and I couldn't hear an audible up and down as you should have been able to hear in one of the clips that I have in the video. So now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put the front bezel back on, and we're good. So I think I'm not going to really go in any further on this. Now, here's my reasoning why. When I'm driving about 50 miles an hour, this thing sounds really great. When I'm a little higher, like 70, 75, sometimes I have to turn my bass knob down because it feels like it's just a little too strong, meaning I would have to reset the gains on my amp. And that's all going to happen anyway, but there's really no reason for me to get this to where it's at its strongest, because as you remember, we started at 0.6 volts, and then our maximum was like 2.3 volts. We're at, I believe, 1.5 volts. So that should put us somewhere about right in the middle of power. That's fine. It's going to the audio control LCI, and pretty much soon my stereo is not really going to be, this sound's not really going to be going through the head unit anyway. It's going to be going directly into my DSP, but I still wanted to do what I did. Okay. The reason being is I'm not always going to want to connect my phone directly to my DSP, and I'm not doing it Bluetooth. Okay. But when I'm on a phone, when I pick up a phone call, I want all the functionality to still work in my head unit. And so that'll switch sources when the phone call comes in, for one. And then I wanted the functionality of my head unit because I want to be able to switch tracks, and I want to be able to see what's playing. But I also have a setup, or I'm getting a setup where I can actually, have video or whatever playing directly through, like on the screen of my head unit. So I wanted all of the capabilities to still be there. I didn't want to lose any capability. That's my whole deal in doing all of this. So let's go ahead and snap this bezel on. I'm going to hook the RCAs back up. And it's kind of a little pet peeve thing for me. Like I said, most people would just turn the vehicle speed sense off, but I like the dynamic of it. That's the best way I could explain, is that I like the dynamic of it. So that's why I went the route that I went to go through to get what I was looking for. So let's go ahead and slap this bezel on, get everything dialed up, and it's time for me to make a trip to Home Depot. So for my truck, man, it's super simple. Maybe if I had it the right direction, but here, put that back like that. Clip it in. Oops, sorry. Clip it in. Clip it in. And she's back together. Turn that light off so I can see. Sorry, the darkness has come upon us. So stereo's back together. Go ahead and fire her up. And you guys can see Toyota. Everything looks great. All right, and I'm gonna get everything else connected back up and take a ride to Home Depot. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you all for all of your support. Until next time, peace.